The following presentation is an unpaid advertisement for Understanding Organizational Change Leadership as presented by Daniel MacArthur. The views of this presentation are those of the author, the various academic and professional references noted in the final slide, and of many other professionals in the corporate world, and not necessarily representative of the views of this network.
Are you tired of writing interoffice memos like you're stuck in the 1980s? Do you still check the fax machine for a confirmation that your request went through? Are you constantly leaving voicemail messages and then wondering if anyone even listens to those things anymore? Well, more than anything, it sounds like you need some things to change. I once wrote a memo, sent it by fax, and then left a voicemail to confirm my fax was received. Actually, that's how I proposed to my wife. Just kidding. I'm Dan MacArthur, your host through this infomercial-esque presentation on leading organizational change. However, I'm not only an infomercial host, I'm also a student and a business professional. In order to keep up with the changing times and constantly improving business practices, we as leaders need to understand how we can make positive change and then implement those change in an effective manner. According to Lewin's model of change, there are three main phases: unfreeze, change, and refreeze. No set it and forget it here. First, the unfreeze phase recognizes the need for change, determines what needs to change, and encourages the replacement of old behaviors and attitudes. Next is change. The changes are planned, implemented, communicated, and the staff are educated about the change. Last is the refreeze. The changes are reinforced and stabilized, integrated into the normal way of doing things, and the measures of ways to sustain the changes are developed. Success! Dr. John Kotter has a more complex change model, utilizing 8 different stages, including creating a sense of urgency, building a guiding coalition, forming a strategic vision, and several other key steps leading up to instituting the change. A big part of that change is involving the frontline management teams. There is no one closer to the employees of a company than the first-line managers. If you can turn those managers into change champions, then you'll be that much closer to bringing the employees on board. One last model that is very helpful to understanding organizational change is the Bridges transition model. Very simply, Bridges describes an ending, the change event that ends one way of doing things, a transition period or a neutral period which holds the most danger of resistance, and lastly, a new beginning where there is an acceptance of the change and a commitment to the way of doing things. No matter how big or small an organization is, change can often be difficult. It is up to us as leaders to understand, communicate, and manage the change process in order to have a successful change initiative.